Hi amateur chefs, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Amateurish. Today we're going to be making some Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Let's go ahead and get started. Hi guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Right now I'm going to cut this piece of steak into cube-sized pieces for the Philly cheesesteak. So we're just going to cut it into small pieces, as you can see here. You can use ground beef for this or any other type of beef product if you want to make this. And then I'm going to start to season it. So I'm going to use some garlic powder. I don't know if I mentioned already, but everything will be in the description box below. I'll go ahead and add some ginger. I am not measuring for this recipe. This is really going to be a season to taste. I believe that was some onion powder, and I'm adding just a little bit more of that. But yeah, so I'm just going to add a little bit of black pepper, and I'm just eyeballing it. And then when it starts to cook, you're going to want to add seasoning as needed. So adding some complete seasoning. And then I am adding some seasoning salt. Next up, we're going to just go ahead and mix everything together so that the entire meat is covered in the seasoning evenly. And then I went ahead and cut some peppers and onions off camera. So next up, taking some butter and letting that melt down. So now I'm going to add the onions and peppers into this to make sure that they get a nice saute. I'm going to do them until they become a bit translucent, and then I'll go ahead and add the meat. So now that the onions and peppers are a little bit translucent, I'm going to go ahead and add the meat in. I am going to stir it occasionally. Now you're only going to cook it so that it gets a little bit of color, but you don't want to over cook the meat. So I'm just going to stir it all the way in there. And I did add salt and pepper to it as needed during this process. All right, so this is basically when it is done, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the cheese, but I just let it sit a little bit longer to get some color before adding the cheese. So I just use Colby Jack. You can use pepper jack or whatever your favorite cheese is. Note to self, probably leave it at this stage. I did let it melt a little bit too long, but I was trying out a new recipe. So again, guys, I'm an amateur chef, so the flavors were definitely there. It was definitely amazing. So now you're going to use some egg wash to get the sides of the egg roll sheet, and that's going to help with sealing the sheet later on, so when you do the folding. Okay, so now we're going to add the meat in here. It does remelt a little bit after you fry it, but I would try not to let it melt as much as I did, guys. True amateur moment. This was my first one, so I struggled a little bit with folding it, but I feel like I got better every single time. So you're just going to fold over the corners. The first one I started to roll it over and I didn't fold in the opposite ways. You'll see in my next one what I mean, because right now I'm just trying to tuck it in, and I should have done that from the jump. So I learned, and I started off with one sheet, but it felt like it was way too thin. So I'm gonna start doubling it up on the next ones that I do. Okay, so as you guys can see, I get better and better each time. So, or at least I thought I did. Now I'm tucking them in at this stage, and then now I'm rolling it over. And I think it looks a lot better. Either way, it's going to taste great. So I wasn't necessarily concerned. It was all packed in there so that wouldn't break when I fried it. So this was another one. Sorry I keep showing you guys these, but I just wanted to show you guys how practice makes perfect. So I folded in the corners first this time, pushed that to the side, and then rolled it. And that was probably my most successful roll ever. Yay for me. So corny, but seriously, I was just like, that looked way better. But again, the back side looked a little bit thin, so I did add another sheet to it. If there is a better way that I should be doing this, guys, let me know in the description box below. I didn't read any instructions on how to do this. I just was like, ooh, I'm in the mood for an egg roll. Let me make it Philly cheesesteak-ish. So that's where the vision came alive. So I made about 3 egg rolls. One thing to note with egg rolls, if you're not ready to eat it right now, don't fry it because it does not warm up good. If you have an air fryer though, I did try it out and it did crunch it right back up. So if you do have an air fryer, you can go ahead and try that out. So right now I'm just putting some of the egg on the outside before I fry it. Okay, you want to make sure the oil is really, really hot before dropping it in there. That's a mistake that I did. I didn't let the oil get as hot as I wanted it to. So the third one was the one that came out nicer than the first 2. But once you fry it, guys, that's basically it. You have 3 crunchy Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. What I did was I had it with some I think that was yum yum sauce and some duck sauce on the side just to see which one would be better with it. This was honestly inspired by the Chinaman down in Fort Lauderdale. If you guys ever had him, he does a lot of different types of egg rolls, so I wanted to try it out for myself. So guys, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And see you guys on my next amateurish video. Bye guys.